All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming for the March 19th License Commission meeting. Present this afternoon, myself, Natasha Yakovlev, Commissioners Jennifer Ewers and Amy Cahalane. And this meeting is being Zoom recorded. Before we jump in, is there anybody here for public comment? Seeing no hands, we'll move right into the agenda. We have an item for an application for a new common victualler license for Chipotle Mexican Grill of Colorado, LLC, DBA Chipotle Mexican Grill, number 5523. And who do we have here for that this afternoon? Hello. Annie will unmute you in just a moment.
Very good. I think we're there.
There you are. Hello.
Hello. Nice to meet you. Thank you for having us. I am David McClellan. I'm the real estate manager for Chipotle, and we are excited to be a part of the Northampton community.
Wonderful. We're excited to have you. Thank you for investing in town. Excellent.
My pleasure. I'm a Western Mass kid, so I have some roots out that way.
Oh, okay, great. Excellent. Then it makes it extra special that you chose us. Good. All the paperwork has been submitted for this. Do any of the commissioners have any questions? Well, we have someone here.
My only question was just, do you know when you're opening?
Our scheduled opening right now is looking to be the first or second week of May. We're making a lot of progress, and we have a great landlord partner there, Frank Colacino, with the property and the building. We've done a lot of work with him in the past. We have a good partnership with them. And yeah, we're slated to open probably at the beginning of the second week of May right now.
Great. All right. Anything else, commissioners? No, David, did you want to add anything before we take our vote?
No, thank you. We do appreciate being a part of the community. We're proud of the fact that we don't have freezers and that we make fresh food every day, and we hope to do good by all of you there.
Yes, wonderful. Well, thank you. Then is there a motion for a vote on this?
Yeah, I move to approve the application for a new common victualler license for Chipotle Mexican Grill of Colorado as detailed in item number 3 of our agenda.
Second.
Natasha?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
And Amy?
Yes.
Wonderful. You are all set.
Well, thank you very much. You have a great night.
You do the same. Thank you for being here.
Bye.
Next up, we have an application for a change of DBA on a common victualler license. This is for the Zen Frog LLC DBA SIP 413 at 90 Maple Street in Florence. And who do we have here? Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. Can you just let us know your name for the record?
Yep, Emma Basil.
Emma Basil, nice to meet you. So change of name at the Zen Frog.
Yes.
Excellent. Commissioners, are there any questions? This is pretty
None
straightforward.
from me.
No.
Okay, I've really been enjoying the cafe. I live in Florence, so it's really nice to have someplace else to walk to.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Did you have anything that you wanted to share with us before we move on to a vote?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, that's fine. Then is there a motion for a vote on this agenda item?
Yes, I move to approve item number 4 on the agenda, the application for a change of DBA on a common victualler license for the Zen Frog LLC, DBA SIP 413, as listed on item 4 of our agenda.
And I'll second.
Natasha?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
And Amy?
Yes.
Excellent. All right, have a good afternoon. You're all set.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. The next item is an application for short-term liquor for 2 short-term liquor licenses. First, we have Michael F. Curtin, VFW Post 8006 Incorporated at 18 Meadow Street in Florence. This is for an all-alcohol license on Sunday, May 4th from 12 to 7 p.m. And the event is the Western Mass VFW District Annual Picnic. And then we have on Saturday, May 10th from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. the Combat Vets Motorcycle Association. And hello.
Oh,
How
yeah,
are you?
good. Tom Pease, I'm the
Yes.
commander at the VFW in 18 Meadow Street, Florence, and that date is May the 3rd, Saturday.
May the 3rd. Okay, we
Yeah.
will make an amendment to that.
They're
when we
both
do the-
Saturday events.
Okay. Saturday, May 3rd.
Mhm.
All right. Are these
Yep.
new events that you're doing? I don't remember these from last year. I remember the pig
These are
roast.
new events. They asked the Western Mass District 7, it's like, I think it's 16 VFWs will be joining us there. And it's
Wow.
a fundraiser, they pool all their money together, and of course, they distribute money to any needy vets or whatever. And the event's gonna be from like 12 to 5. It's a short event.
Yep.
They're bringing a band in, and we'll have a tent, a 30 by 60 foot tent. We're gonna put sides on it because we do have new neighbors. I understand that. And so we're trying to be, I don't know if you call it politically correct or whatever, but
Neighborly.
we're gonna make sure that, it's a fun time for everyone.
That's
And the
great.
public is invited, even though it's a VFW event, the public will be invited. And it goes, like I said, from 12 to 5. The next event is May the 10th. We're gonna have the tent there again, the 30 by 60 tent with the sides drawn down on it. And they're Iraqi and Afghanistan combat veterans. It's a
Okay.
very, very strong group of dedicated veterans. They all have motorcycles. They're gonna be parking in our parking lot, and we're gonna keep everything contained in the tent. Or
Yeah.
food and the alcohol be served in there.
Sure.
So,
You always do a very good job with your outside events. So
yeah, we really, really try hard. And what we're excited about is younger veterans joining us now.
yep.
Because a lot of us are getting a little long in the tooth, so it's good to see the enthusiasm coming in now.
Yeah. Yeah. Great.
I appreciate the support from Northampton.
Absolutely. Commissioners, are there any questions for Tom? Do we have him?
My only question had been just about the outside and the layout, which he answered perfectly. So I
Yeah.
didn't have any other.
All right. Did you have anything else that you wanted to add about the events before we move on to a motion?
No, I think, just like our pig roast, we've gone, no incidents or anything like that.
Yeah.
And everything is contained on the parking lot.
Yep.
In fact, we try to keep them away from parking on the street. So
Right.
the Civic Center's been kind enough to let us use their parking lot too, so we direct people over there.
Sure. That's great. Yeah, no, it's always, so you always do a great job.
So Natasha,
Natasha,
before going to a vote,
Yep.
the building commissioner Ross has his hand
Oh,
raised. I don't know if you
Oh,
want
okay,
to.
great. I'm sorry, I missed that. All right, we can hear from Kevin Ross.
Correct, that's right.
Hi, do you plan on having any tents on the property? I know some events you put up a tent.
Yeah, we're putting up a tent, yes.
So one thing to keep in mind that you'd have to get a building permit for the
Yeah.
tent.
I gotta talk to, I'm renting it from Northampton Rental, so I'll make sure that, do you want me to get the permit or them?
They usually pull it, but as long as somebody pulls the permit and it gets inspected,
Sure.
once it's up, so we can just make sure it's secured. And then, do you plan on having it enclosed on more than 50% of
Oh,
the
yeah,
side?
on, at least on 2 sides, yes.
Okay, so one thing to keep in mind is if you go over the 50%, then that would trigger exit signs and emergency lighting
50% what,
of the sides enclosed.
oh, yeah, no, we want to keep a lot of it open, but like I said, I want to be kind to our new neighbors.
Okay,
And, okay, yeah, no, I won't go 50%, and I'll make sure that they pull the permit.
okay, that's all I got. Thank you.
And, I'll tell you, they're going to put the tent up on May the 2nd at 10 o'clock in the morning, so I imagine they'll be telling you that when they're gonna put it up.
Yeah, typically they'll tell us when the tent's going up, so we
Yeah,
can plan
okay.
accordingly.
Okay,
Thank you.
will do.
Okay, great, thanks, Kevin. Then I think we're ready for the vote.
Nope. Well, thank you for, hey, you too. Thanks for
Who
I'll
calling.
would like
do,
to-
I'll make a motion to approve the application for short-term liquor licenses for 2 events, one on Saturday, May 3rd and one on Saturday, May 10th by the Michael F. Curtin VFW Post 8006 Inc. as detailed in item 5 on the agenda.
Second,
Natasha,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
and Amy.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sure thing. Next up, we have an application for a short-term liquor license for the committee to elect Lori Loisel Tuesday, April 8th, 2025, 6 to 8 p.m. at Click Workspace, 9.5 Market Street. This is for Lori Loisel's campaign kickoff, and a wine and malt license is being sought. And hello.
Hi.
You should just state your name for the record since it's your
Yes,
first.
thank you. I'm Chelsea Klein.
Great. Thanks for coming. Want to let us know a little bit about this event, even though it's pretty self-explanatory?
Sure. Lori Loisel is running for City Council in Ward 3, and this will be her campaign kickoff event at Click Workspace at 9.5 Market Street. The purpose of the event is really for people to get to know her and hear her platform, and to, gather in the ward, and have some food and drink and enjoy each other's company.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Do the commissioners have any questions? We're pretty familiar with the setup at Click.
Yep, no questions.
All right, then I think we're ready for a motion.
Motion to approve the application for a short-term liquor license for the committee to elect Lori Loisel as detailed in item number 6 in the agenda.
Second.
Natasha,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
and Amy.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Next item, we have application for short-term liquor license for the International Language Institute of Mass Incorporated for Wednesday, April 30th, 2025, 5:15 to 8 p.m. This is at 33 Holly Street, and the event is Giving Voice, and a wine and malt license is being sought. Hi,
Hi, I'm Laura Evely.
how are you?
Good, thanks.
Great.
So
in.
yeah, I'm here for the International Language Institute, and like you said, we're having our annual fundraiser on April 30th at Center for the Arts at 33 Holly, 5:15 to 8 o'clock p.m.
Okay.
It's our annual event, and
It's your annual, yes.
yeah,
It
it's
is.
third time at Center for the Arts.
It's such a great spot, such a great venue for events.
So
like
great, I love it there. Yep.
this. All documents are submitted. Do any of the commissioners have questions? I don't.
Nope.
No?
No questions. No, it's the third time around and I know it'll be a great event.
Excellent. Then Laura, do you want to add anything else before we go to our motion?
No, I don't think so. Thank you.
Okay, great. Then we're ready for the motion.
Sure, I'll make a motion to approve the application for a short-term liquor license for the International Language Institute of Mass for their event on Wednesday, April 30th, as detailed on item 7 of our agenda.
Second.
Natasha,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
and Amy.
Yes.
Wonderful. You are all set. I hope you have a great event.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Next up, we have an application for a new automatic amusement device license for Drawing Board Brewing Company LLC at 36 Main Street in Florence. And this is for One Claw Machine. Hello. Hi there. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks.
I'm Casey Aubrey. I'm the sales and service manager of Lucky Duck Vending.
Nice to meet you.
We've recently got established with Tonka and Corey. We have a lot of machines currently in Northampton, and we think a claw machine would be a great addition to their brewery.
Sounds good to me. I don't have any questions. This is, I think maybe our 4th or 5th amusement license we've issued. So it's pretty straightforward. Do any of the commissioners have questions for Casey?
No.
No.
Okay, great. Did you want to add anything else, Casey, before we move to our motion?
I think I'm all set. Thank you.
Okay, great. Then we're ready for that.
I'll make a motion to approve the application for a new automatic amusement device license for Drawing Board Brewing Company LLC as detailed in item 8 on the agenda.
Second.
Natasha,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
and Amy.
Yes.
Excellent. All right. Thank you, Casey.
Thank you very much.
Next, we have
Sorry.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, before we move forward,
Yep.
my guess is that Captain Stolmeyer and Building Commissioner Ross are still on the call.
Then we'll move to their item. How's that?
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Sure thing. So we are, that's for item number 10. We're going to jump
Right.
ahead to a discussion on whether to implement a policy for the building and fire departments to inspect the premises for short-term liquor licenses.
So I know we discussed this at the last meeting after talking to Attorney Seawald. He thinks that this needs a policy to put into our rules and regulations.
Okay.
And I spoke with the building commissioner today, and I think all we would need to provide Attorney Seawald would be the reasons for, or which establishments would need to be inspected. And after speaking with Kevin, we came up with any establishment that is not annually inspected and any outdoor event if they have a tent that is over 200 square feet or is 200 square feet or greater.
Yep. We will rely heavily on Kevin's recommendations for that. Yeah, no, I think it's great. And I just want to, I've said it before, but I want to reiterate, it's really, really helpful to have you at these meetings, Kevin, because we can get all bases covered. So that's great. Do we need a vote on this, Annie, or this is just?
We'll need a vote on the actual policy, but it needs to be written.
Yep.
If Kevin, I don't know if you have anything to add. Otherwise, I'll give the information to Attorney Seawald and have him draft it for your approval. Commission.
That
Yes.
sounds great to me.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yep. Perfect. Are we all set then with that one?
Yes.
Okay. Wonderful. Then jumping back to 9, we have a discussion on whether to implement a policy for fee waiver requests for short-term liquor licenses for nonprofits. So this is a follow-up to last month when the APE Gallery requested a fee waiver for the event that they were having at Holly Street, at 33 Holly Street, the Arts Trust building. So in the past, or we have historically for buildings owned by the city, correct, Annie? So Forbes and the Academy. That is why they have fee waivers.
Yes,
Yeah.
although we've also given them to the Center for the Arts.
Yeah.
And this predates me. This is when Penny Burke was there. She must have.
I think it was an affiliation with the trust, the city entity. But I'm completely spacing on
The Arts Council?
Arts Council. I think it was an affiliation with that.
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense. That would make the most sense.
Right.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
Do you have a sense, Annie, of how many nonprofit applications we get a year for wine and malts? Or for either, I guess, but.
I could tell you. In 2024, there were, oh, sorry. I misunderstood the question. I thought you were asking all alcohol because only nonprofits are allowed to get all alcohol.
Yeah, I guess where I was heading is one thought I had is that we could do fee waivers for all nonprofits for wine and malts, but because all alcohol is a specially unique thing, we could charge the fee if they wanted all alcohol. But I was trying to get a sense of how many dollars
Right.
we would be losing if we did that.
So, okay, this might be helpful. So, in 2024, $1,891 was waived because of the licensees being entities of the city. So that's a lot. And I think that also included a lot of the academy licenses because they didn't get their wine and malt until like halfway through 2024. And then $102 was waived because and I think that's the Revelry at 33, which is the Center for the Arts' annual fundraiser. They get an all alcohol. So I guess we could do 1891 divided by 61 but some nonprofits
That
get
doesn't really, that doesn't get me there, but that's okay. Because that's only entities that we are currently waiving the fee for, which are only city-related nonprofits.
Yep. Okay.
And that city-related is where, to me, it feels a little like we're struggling to define, but maybe we just need to define it better. So my thinking had been make it all nonprofits, just automatically waive it, but only do that for wine and malt. But I have no idea whether that's waiving like $15,000 worth of fees or 3.
I see. Okay. I mean, I could get that information for you. I don't have it tonight.
It would be helpful just to understand how much money we're talking about. Because like 1,891, that's a lot higher than in my head I would have expected it to be. I mean, it's a small amount of money, but it's more than I thought. Would it be helpful information for you guys to have in order to create a policy?
It would be helpful for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be.
So you want,
sorry, Annie.
That's okay. So you want to know in 2024, how many applicants were nonprofits?
Yes, and ideally, unless this is an absurd ask, you should feel free to tell me. Of those applicants, how many got wine and malt and how many got all alcohol?
Okay.
All right, we all set then?
So I'm gonna bring this information back to the next meeting and then we'll discuss more. Okay.
Yep. Excellent, thank you.
Thank you, Annie.
Thank you, Annie.
Sorry, I should have anticipated your question.
It's okay.
I also could have emailed you in advance as opposed to thinking about it in the 20 minutes before I hopped on the Zoom. So no need to apologize.
Well, the good news is it's not the most pressing thing we have to talk about, so that's fine. Okay, so we have next up have a discussion and possible vote on the means to issue an annual all alcohol on premise license not renewed for 2025. So this is in regards to the license coming from NoHo Social and how to reissue it. So I have my thoughts. Would somebody else like to share their thoughts first?
I would love to hear your thoughts.
My thoughts are, there's always been this demand, like a very obvious demand, because this would be the same restaurants coming forward for the lottery that we would do. And there was always seemed like there was maybe 7 restaurants or something. So then the mayor went and got licenses for all those people. So the pent up demand in that big way is no longer a thing. So in my mind, it doesn't make sense to have a lottery for this license without really knowing what the audience is going to be for it. And it's an opportunity for us to, and plus doing a lottery, we've had our conditions, but our conditions were built based on the population of people seeking out the licenses. So in the absence of that, we have a chance to create new conditions or talk about what it would be important in terms of an application process if we were to go that route.
And safe to assume that we can talk about it and set up conditions or plans or whatever for this license. And then should another situation arise in a month, we can come up with different policies and plans, right? We're not setting a policy that we're then following all the time.
I think so, because it's always evolved, like I think we added the requirement that an establishment be open year round. That was a recent addition. And that again was based on a pool of folks who were seeking it and fairness. So, you know, and it's interesting because we've never not done a lottery with these licenses when we've had something extra, so it does require more careful consideration. But I'm also open if either of you were thinking lottery was the way to go, I'm super open to hearing the reasons for that.
I was definitely not thinking that lottery was the way to go. I was feeling like we shouldn't be feeling rushed to decide how to
Mhm.
deal with this because there
Yep.
aren't 15 places waiting. I'm also feeling like I want to make sure that we don't, I respect the fact that in the past we've tailored things to the particular situation at hand, but I don't want to design policies that are aimed at the applicants we think that we have. I want to design policies that we think are good for Northampton, and then however it goes, it goes. I'm not sure though what I want those policies to be,
Right, exactly.
is where I fall down.
Yes.
So this wouldn't be a policy for every license going forward. It would just, we're just deciding on this
This one.
particular license.
Okay.
And I think I would want to if we can come to a decision today for this particular license, that would be great in the event that somebody turns up next week and says, I really want to sign this lease to open a restaurant. Are you aware of any licenses? You know, that's, you know, because Annie, have you heard from anybody recently?
I heard from someone, was it today or I think it was today? They already have a wine and malt cordial license and heard that there is one full license available.
And who was that?
Sub Rosa.
Okay. Jennifer, what are your thoughts?
I'm struggling with the thought of letting go of a lottery because even though we set criteria, I mean, there's fairness. There's fairness when you see the balls and we pull
Absolutely.
one.
Yeah.
It's so important to me that our decisions are fair and consistent.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying we can't come up with fair rules, but it's just, there's just something about the lottery. Do you know what I mean? Like my number and your number, like they're weighed the same.
Yep.
So it's just the fairness. I want the commission, and I know we all strive hard for this, but I just want it to feel fair. And there was something that lottery brings that it made me feel like, well, you know, that it was equal, chances were equal, right? You all saw it. So
It's
I'm
totally fair.
just
Yeah.
struggling with that piece.
Well,
But
it's
I realize that Annie doesn't have a list and I might be making it more complicated than it needs to be.
I think what also for me with the lottery in this particular situation I'm struggling with is that I think we've had conditions in the past of like your business has to be open and operating or something. And those conditions in this situation will automatically knock out
potential new business.
Yeah, or an existing business who lost a license and is trying to come back, or you know,
Right.
I mean those. Yeah, I'm struggling with how to make the playing field equal to get people into the lottery.
Yep.
Which I think is why I'm leaning on what do I think would be a good use of a liquor license for Northampton, ignoring whomever might possibly be interested in it.
Well, and I feel just, I'm sorry, Amy, to interrupt, but the fact that it's an all alcohol license complicates it a little, because then it could be an upgrade from somebody that has a wine and malt and not just someone who doesn't have a license. I feel like that also kind of compounds things. Are we trying to give a license to someone who has nothing, or are we trying to give like that upgrade?
Right. Well, having wine and malt has always been one of our conditions. And we can rewrite conditions for a lottery too. We can change the conditions. If we choose to lottery this license, we can change the conditions to meet the moment now to expand the possibilities. to more people because it has been limiting in the past because of some of the conditions. But also, we should talk about the fairness around all of that. Did we just lose Annie?
I'm guessing she had to step away from it.
No,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
here. I just need to get
Oh.
a sweater. I'm freezing.
Oh, okay, great. You know, I mean, the last lot we did, we were pretty adamant about the being open year round piece. Out of fairness for the establishments that wouldn't get the license that are open year round.
I have no problem with making it, that be a condition again of however we move forward, lottery or
Yeah.
application. That to me, it's not, we have a liquor license available. It's not
Yep.
like we have 15. So that feels to me like a reasonable requirement.
Yep.
In the past, you've required businesses to be open.
Yep.
At the time they apply and have an
Yes.
existing wine and malt.
Yep, to demonstrate that they held a license responsibly. But again, that was, you know, we're not in the past anymore. We have a whole
Totally,
new.
no, I'm just
potential, yeah.
taking
Yeah,
it
but no, we
condition
did.
by condition to see if that makes it easier for me
Yep.
to think through.
Yeah, we didn't, there were no conditions, I don't think, on days of how many days a week you were open. It was just, it had to be year round and you had to be an existing wine and malt holder in the city of Northampton without any incidents. And you also had to not ever have had a license removed or rescinded. So if we were to do a lottery, how could we do it? Would we want to do it in such a way that would welcome people who are not existing wine and malt holders or not an existing business in the city right now? Would we want to do that?
If I were going to do that, I would want them to have a lease, I
Yeah,
think, or own property that, you know, I
Yep.
wouldn't want to tie up a license on a wing and a prayer.
Yep.
But I think if they have a signed lease at the time of the lottery or applying.
from what I've limited conversations I've had with a landlord in town, that it's been a deal breaker even getting to the lease point. I completely agree with you. I think that they should have a lease. We cannot tie up a license like that. But that it's a deal breaker for it has been a deal breaker for some restaurants wanting to come here, which is unfortunate because they could get the wine and malt license and then be eligible for everything. So,
But which begs a little bit another question. Say we decided we were going to do a lottery and we were going to open it up to restaurants who were not here if they had a signed lease. Is there a marketing plan for this? Are we going to publicize this widely? Are we going to I don't know how that's been done in the past, but are we going to tell landlords we're going to do this? And if you have a restaurant who's on the fence, let them know. What does that look like?
right. Annie, what have you done in the past? You've reached
So,
out to
in
all
the
of
past,
others.
yeah, in the past, the requirement was that you be a wine and malt holder. So I just would email the
Email
wine and
those
malt
people.
holders and yeah, so great question.
Do you have a list of property owners for restaurant spaces in Northampton?
Not one that is compiled.
I'm trying to think
Yeah,
around it, like if a requirement is a lease and you're going to have a wine and malt, presumably you're going to be in a restaurant or bar space. So I didn't know if there was, or if building had a list like that, or I don't know, probably not, but.
I think it's a pretty, for existing restaurant-ish build outs, it's a pretty short list of owners, I think. Claudio, Eric, Rich Matowitz.
Claudio, I think, found someone for Mexicalito.
Oh, great. That's great news.
that was, it's been a few weeks since I've heard from him, but, yeah, as far as I know,
Perhaps they might need a liquor license.
they have one.
Oh,
He's trying to buy it back from the
oh,
bankruptcy
yeah, okay,
attorney.
yep, that's right.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, I'm just not sure the best way to be proactive. I mean, I know that. I mean, for example, it was stated at one of our hearings that somebody was interested in reopening the old Spoletos space. I mean, was it
Right,
Drew
Andrew.
from Highbrow?
Yeah.
Being proactive, if we consider this being proactive, would that have been enough to get them over the fence? Like, just to,
Not for me. And you know what? And it wouldn't, it was for I mean, it's because the landlord in that case would have been Eric. So the chances of a lease ever actually happening were so slim, but that's not really fair to, because there are other landlords who are gonna not do that.
that's right. But that's just the struggle I'm having, trying to see, I think of these examples and I'm like, well, would that have even helped get us to the finish line? And I'm not sure. So it's really hard to be proactive here, to give
And-
somebody.
Yeah. And something else that it reminds me of is this, say that scenario had played out or a scenario similar to that. This has nothing to do with the parties involved, but the business didn't make it. It's a massive percentage of restaurants close within the first 5 years or something, or even a year. That license is then owned by that person because it's not a special act license. This is not a special act license, right? Annie, it's not. Yeah. It wouldn't be.
You're muted.
Sorry. Let me check. Let me double check.
Yeah, because now I'm remembering the last batch of licenses that we got that were special act, the legislators changed the language on them in a way that I recall not liking.
Is that the one that it named each restaurant and then, no?
No.
No, this one would have been from years ago, because this is the license that came from Pine.
Oh, that's right, from Pine.
From Pine Grove, and I think there was special legislation attached to it, but I think it can be, it can be transferred because it was transferred from Pine Grove to King Street. And then it went from, oh no, the Sakura license went downtown. Yeah, let me just check.
Well, the original special act licenses, as we all know, had that stipulation in it that should the business close, the license comes back to the city, because the whole point was economic development.
Right.
The new, more recent special act batch did not have that language.
No, it does not have that language.
So, okay, so it's a moot point.
Okay.
That's a moot point. I guess my thought process is in the event that restaurant would close, this license that was just given for free to try and get a business going would become an asset for that business, even if they're closed.
Which is not what this one is. Because otherwise this would be sitting as an asset with.
Well,
their
this one,
name escapes me.
yeah, this one's not a
Soho
special.
Social.
It's neither special act, because it's an old.
Yep.
Old license.
Do we need to decide this now? I'm not trying to just kick this off. I'm saying if we don't have a restaurant knocking down our door looking for this.
Yep.
A current open restaurant.
Yeah, we don't
I'm
need.
not feeling, yeah, I'm feeling pressured to decide it now, and I feel like we shouldn't be because there isn't a demand right now other than, I suppose, from the restaurant that lost it.
Right.
And the individual that emailed today.
Right, that inquired.
Right.
I am fine with taking more time to think this through and have another discussion. What do you think, Jennifer?
I'm comfortable taking some time to think this one out.
Okay. I know Amherst strictly does application-based licenses, so I'd love to get my hands on their conditions for their applications, like a rubric of what is, because I've always thought, wow, that's bold. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we will discuss this again next month. Ready to move on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a request for approval of 2025-2026 seasonal liquor license renewals pending receipt of all appropriate documents for Hampshire Franklin and Hamden Agricultural Society Beer Hall, Hampshire Franklin and Hamden Agricultural Society Infield, Sagtawan Incorporated DBA Thai Restaurant, Frank Newhall Look Memorial Park Incorporated DBA Pines Theater, Cafe Balagan LLC, Deerbrook Associates LLC, DBA Scotty's Golf. Any updates on these? This is all.
No, I expect them all to renew. I spoke with Commissioner Ross today, and they're going back out to finish re-inspections, I think, next week.
Okay.
So I don't see any issues.
Very good. Do you need a vote to give you approval to renew
I
those?
do, yes.
All right, is there a motion then for this one?
Yeah, I'll move to approve item 12 on the agenda, which is the request for approval of 2025 to 2026 seasonal liquor license renewals, pending the receipt of all appropriate documents. Do I need to read all of the
You could just
license
say
holders?
as detailed in the agenda.
Yep, as detailed in agenda item 12.
Well, second, sorry.
Natasha,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
and Amy.
Yes.
All right, next up, we have a request to rescind a previously approved short-term liquor license for Glow Studio LLC, DBA Glow Beauty Bar, 40 Main Street in Florence, for the Arrive at 5 event on Wednesday, March 25th. It was 5 to 7 and a wine and malt license.
Yeah, so they ended up not pursuing it because it was, I guess, expensive and difficult, and they told us before the event.
Yep. All right.
Yep, and I went to the event and there was no alcohol there, so that was, yep, I have no
Yeah.
problem with this.
All right. Is there a motion
we-
to?
I'll
Yeah, I think-
motion to approve the request to rescind a previously approved short-term liquor license for Glow Studio LLC, DBA Glow Beauty Bar, as detailed in agenda item 13.
Second,
Natasha,
Yes.
Jennifer,
yes,
and Amy.
Yes.
And can we have a motion to approve the minutes of February 19th, 2025?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of February 19th, 2025.
I'll second.
Natasha,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes,
and Amy.
Yes.
Excellent. Any new business?
None from me.
I don't have any new business except for the remote meeting extension was extended until 2027, I think, because it was going to end in like 10, 11 days. So
Okay.
if we
Great.
want to continue still meeting remotely, we shall.
Sounds good to me. Even though I prefer in person, but it's fine. Would somebody like to make a motion to adjourn unless someone else has new business also?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Excellent.
second,
Natasha,
Yes.
Jennifer,
yes.
and Amy.
Yes.
Excellent, thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
everybody.
Amy.
See you next
guys.
time.
Have a good month.
You too.
Bye.
Amy.
Bye.